So basically, the purpose is to describe the process and the benefits of university and NGO partnership. This was our team from the School of Nursing at the University of Minnesota that worked on the Ebola project. In response to the worst outbreak in history by the summer of 2014, U.S. government and NGOs were trying to scale up, rapidly scaling up response strategies. And so just a few words about the situation in Liberia. My background is in looking at armed conflict and community recovery, so I couldn't help but be looking at the situation in Liberia through that lens. And the legacy of conflict, of the long-standing conflict there, proved to be brutal on the country's capacity to address what needed to be addressed with Ebola, where you've got diminished capacity, you've got damage that's been done to civil society, and what that means, certainly a broken healthcare system that was beginning to recover, but was a long ways from recovery. Not a veterinarian was in the country at that time. Now I understand that there are 2. Shifting cultural norms that happened during conflict, and of course the legacy of distrust, anger, fear, particularly distrust. And the experience of displacement. Once again, people have been displaced throughout the war, and they were being displaced as a result of the Ebola outbreak. So how do you rebuild a healthcare system when the talent flees? When I was working in in Liberia in 2000, and the healthcare system was shut down because of the war. There were 300 nurses and 42 physicians in the country because people had fled, understandably. And education system was shut down, healthcare system was shut down. And of course, back in 2014, again, all the education system was shut down, the healthcare system shut down once again. In Liberia in 2014, you could treat one disease, and that disease was Ebola. Primary health care was not happening. So that was the environment that where this disease sprang forth. And my interest started peaking when in June, a colleague in our School of Nursing at the University of Minnesota was teaching a master's program in Monrovia, and she started sending us pictures of nurses in clinical settings wearing plastic bags over their hands because there were no gloves, and the sort of growing fear in the community, and more people were leaving. The best and the brightest, oftentimes the first ones to leave, where people were feeling abandoned and frightened. It was a very valuable partnership. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Robertson.